Today we're doing something a little bit different, which I'm sure you could have guessed by this keyboard I'm holding. Sweetwater was kind enough to send me the Arturia AstroLab, and after trying it out, I quickly realized that it's actually a pretty great tool for guitarists. Yeah, you heard that right. Guitarists. So let me tell you a story that's going to be particularly important for any of you who want to do anything in the gigging world at some point. And if that's not you, don't worry, there's still going to be something for you, so come along. When I got the call for my first tour, I got asked the dreaded question. Not do you sing, not will you do this for free, not do you have a Kemper. Well, actually I did get asked if I had a Kemper, but not on the first phone call. No, I got asked the thing any guitarist who wants to rock fears. Do you play keys? Do you play keys? And sure, I played a little bit, but not enough where I was comfortable advertising myself as a keyboardist, but I really wanted the gig, so I said, yes, absolutely. Which meant I had to practice like crazy to get through one piano part on one song. I got through the tour feeling accomplished and convinced that I had paid my dues, and now I would only have to play guitar on future gigs. Guess what? My second tour was another guitar keys gig, and this one had even more keys in it than the first one. This was a challenging one for me because not only was there way more piano playing, but I had to do a lot of sound design, which I honestly knew nothing about. Now, this is where the AstroLab really excels. It makes sound design super simple. Essentially, you have access to thousands of different presets that you can sort through by instrument type, artists, and if you're on the app or on your computer, you can even type in keywords, kind of like a search engine. And believe me, I also get super annoyed scrolling through thousands of different presets, hoping that I find one that's close to what I'm looking for. And the system of filtering and sorting actually makes it fairly easy to do. So once you've selected your preset, making changes to it is super easy. I've pulled up a pad sound here. This is the Cinema Strings pad. Sounds like this. Cool, pretty standard pad. Now, what they do is they give you these 8 controls right here to make subtle changes or drastic changes depending on what the parameter is controlling. Our first knob here, it's labeled brightness, but as you can see on the screen, it's actually controlling timbre, so we'll hear what it does. Nice, so it definitely is affecting the brightness in this case. Our second parameter is assigned to reverb, so let's take it all the way down. Definitely drier. You can turn it all the way up. Getting that space. Now we'll do time. Let's see what time changes. So that seems to be controlling the attack, right? If we turn it up, let's hear it swell in. Yeah, much faster, so we'll put this back to kind of in the middle. And then this is just effects. Let's see what this does. Seems to be kind of filtering the sound a little bit. Now what's really cool is you're not only limited to the parameters a preset has assigned. We can actually change out the effect for other things like phaser, delay, reverb. We can also go here to part 1 and we can control things like the envelope attack, oscillator 1 volume. So there is a fair amount of customization we can do. Now, if you want to get into deep customization and alter the oscillators and the envelopes and things like that further, you will need a license to Arturia's V Collection. But even without a license to access the back end of these synthesizers, I found that there's thousands of usable presets, and if you find a preset that's pretty close to your target, the customization that is included is typically enough for me to massage it into the sweet spot. And if you're watching this video, you're probably a guitarist like myself, so I think you'll find this system to be actually pretty intuitive. It's almost like how we alter our guitar tones with pedals. In fact, it kind of looks like a pedal board when you get into those customization screens, so I think you'll feel right at home. Anyway, if I had the AstroLab back then, my life would have been way easier. I wouldn't have spent all those hours trying to learn sound design and how to play keys at the same time. I could have just sorted through some sounds, pulled up some vintage style synths that were probably closer to the sounds on the record than what I came up with, and actually gotten back to practicing. Arturia's heavy emphasis on those vintage style synths is pretty invaluable. It's perfect for the sound design you hear in modern pop and worship music. but the gig taught me a valuable lesson. Every guitarist, whether you aspire to be a sideman, a worship guitarist, a music director, a producer, anything like that, should also be proficient on keys and with sound design. And that's just an overly complicated way of saying you should probably learn keys because it's not gonna hurt you. Maybe it was from playing keys on a couple gigs or just my natural taste in music changing, but I had a period of my life where I fell in love with EDM pop music. I wanted to be a DJ in Las Vegas. I am seriously putting my time and efforts into being a DJ now and do the whole producer artist kind of thing, which is pretty hilarious considering I like to go to bed at 10 p.m., but a guy can dream, can he? The AstroLab actually has a ton of EDM sounds in it. You can even sort by EDM subgenres like house, future bass, and tropical house. Here's a quick demo I made using some of the presets from the AstroLab. I know a lot of you watch my channel are church guitarists and church music directors, so I know you're gonna relate when I say this, but most keys players in church are pretty excellent piano players, but are kind of lost when it comes to synthesis and sound design. That's why it's such a huge advantage to know even a little bit about synthesis and the types of sounds that appear on worship records. If you learn to speak the language of keys, you can get better results faster. And as a church MD, you know just how important that is. A lot of times we're only working with a couple hours of rehearsal to make sure everything sounds good. So that's where the AstroLab can be really handy. It makes it super easy, whether you're inexperienced or experienced, to get great sounds for worship like this. Okay, but for real now, here's a couple of their presets that I think sound awesome. My journey has led me to become a music director and a playback tech in the pop world, and just like in church, having super usable key sounds is a source of time saving and inspiration, especially when I'm working on arrangements, intros, outros, transitions, and things like that. My favorite feature just might be the software compatibility. Whether you're producing, music directing, or performing, it's pretty sweet that you can get your sounds together on your computer and then seamlessly import them to your keyboard to take with you to a session, rehearsal, or performance. It's almost like having iTunes for synth sounds, which would make the AstroLab your iPod. If you want to learn more about the Arturia AstroLab, be sure to head over to Sweetwater. Their team of experts can answer all your technical questions about the unit, and they're awesome to work with. I've got links to the keyboard and other gear I use in the description. Psst, they are affiliate links, which means I make a small commission if you purchase through them, but it doesn't cost you anything extra, and it's a big support to the channel. Huge thank you again to Sweetwater for sending me the AstroLab. I'm really enjoying it and learning how to incorporate it into my current workflow. Be sure to leave a like on the video before you head out and subscribe to the channel if you're new, and I'll catch you next time. Puppy on. Oh my gosh, what was that?